Star Fab. We're located here in Pontiac, Michigan. We're a small performance shop. We specialize in import cars. We do a lot of standalone fuel injection tuning, a lot of fabrication, motor swaps. We mainly specialize in Hondas, Mitsubishi, BMW. We do some 2J and some GTR stuff. Basically say the Mitsubishi Evo stuff's kind of our bread and butter. We've got a couple drag cars that we run. We do a lot of remote tuning and in-house tuning. We even do, we teach some in-house classes. All of this is mainly based around the Link G4, G4X platform. We build a lot of looms and engine harnesses. Again, only most of this based on the Link platform. We do tune some other stuff, but the Link is basically our bread and butter. I'd say the main goal is delivering the dream that they had. You know, from there, we may have to take one step back and both get on planet Earth and to reality. And, you know, biggest thing is just whatever the customer's after. If the customer wants a street car, then, you know, A1 reliability has to be the #1 thing. If it's a max effort drag car, obviously we'll say speed is going to be #1 and breaking parts is going to be #2, unfortunately. We've been reselling and tuning Link ECUs probably about 6 years now. Had a great opportunity. You know, they made me an offer to try and get a Link into my car, and you know, at that time it sounded like a great plan. You know, I rewired the car, got a Link in the vehicle. You know, Scott and a few other guys at tech support were able to, you know, help walk me through at least enough. I sat through some classes at Link, you know, and I'll just say kind of overnight at one point, looking through the software, it kind of, you know, the puzzle started coming together. I started understanding it more, and at this point I would choose it over any other ECU. You know, sheer flexibility, the durability, the repeatability. You know, I'd never used another ECU where, you know, you tune, you know, say 20 Honda Civics in a row, or you do 10 Evos in a row, where, you know, not saying that I'm into copy and paste tuning, but where, you know, a base configuration file from a previous car, where you're going to upload it and this vehicle is going to work. You know, when a customer drops off a vehicle, a GTR, GTST, Evo, you know, and they're riding you about a timeline, like I can honestly tell them that, you know, in 2 days or 3 days, tomorrow, you know, your vehicle is going to be done, ready and tuned. And if it's not, you know, I'm telling you, it's not the software, you know, it's not the tuner behind the keyboard, it's your car, you know, has a problem. The ECU, it just works. It's very stable. My favorite thing about Link, and I don't know if I could pin it down to one feature as much as just the flexibility of the software. It's like a virtual auxiliary output, meaning that you're going to basically turn on a switch inside the ECU using parameters rather than the individual physically reaching out and hitting a button. So say you were doing some sort of no prep drag racing or something, and normally you're going to have like a scramble button or a high boost button on the steering wheel. You know, we may say based on traction control, based on drive shafts acceleration, or, you know, we've got front and rear wheel speed sensors in there. We may decide that the car is settled and we might turn on the nitrous, or we might turn up the boost without the customer or the driver actually having to reach out and do something. You know, it's a condition you've created in the ECU, or even, you know, flexibility of axes on tables, being able to configure them. Most of the time in most other platforms, they have supplied you with a template, and you are pretty construed to staying inside of that template, you know. And in some other ECUs, they have a G meter, just like, you know, a Link, I think, anything extreme and above in a G4X, or a Thunder and a G4 Plus has a G meter. In some other ECUs, you are able to log the G meter, but you're never able to use it functionally wise. It opens up doors that other software never would. If my customer's here and they want to break a world record, or they want to do something that's never been done before, well, we're definitely not going to follow in somebody's footsteps. We're going to just go out and try something new. Being able to have software available that is able to be manipulated in this way is a total game changer for us, as opposed to what we were with before. Number one sellers for me are probably Extreme for a wire-in ECU. It's usually my go-to. Just having available 8-cylinder fuel and ignition, I'll usually lean towards a Extreme over a Fury, just in case. Guy right now is doing a 2J swap in say a 240SX or something like that, and you get the notion that they've mentioned LS enough times over the past few years that maybe 2 years down the road, maybe this car is going to end up with an LS in it. So as long as we push them towards the Extreme, we know that later in life, there's room to grow. You can add a couple more cylinders. The plug and play stuff seem like they come in waves, whether it be, possibly advertising from Link, or, a video just came out and, the next new YouTuber used one on Evo 8 or something. So then the Evo 8 ECU, for 3-4 weeks takes off and, sells more than it did all year. This summer we saw, I think we did 6-7 S2000s directly in a row. A couple of them were K-swapped, and again, with the real powerful software, we're able to use a S2000 plug and play and run a K24 or K20 off of it, and still utilize the factory loom, repin a couple things, and still retain all the factory gauge functions, temperature sensor. Working with Link has actually been nothing but a positive for my business. So I'll say, when I used to sell a different brand of ECU, I really had to get out there and I had to try to push it. I had to try and sell you on this, and I had to give you a million reasons why. And being honest, the Link stuff kind of sells itself, in my smaller group. Basically, a lot of people already know that, if you go to Andy, he's going to try and sell you on a Link ECU, or this is going to be his number one suggestion. And it is mainly for the purpose that, 7 days a week, this is what I'm going to put most of my time into learning, developing. I'm working with this every day. So it is my number one suggestion. At the same time, opening doors for me or moving forward, it really sells itself. And it's great to be able to sell a product to your customer knowing that it really is the best choice for them. When selling another ECU manufacturer, I never had guys contacting me from the Philippines, or, I remote tuned a car in Puerto Rico yesterday, so yes, obviously my sales have gone up, and when sales go up, this is just like the party store. If you came in to buy an ECU, you're going to end up with a bunch of sensors and, well, maybe a new wastegate. Nope, car needs a turbo, so I mean, it opens up doors that you never noticed, so it might not just be the ECU, it might be other products that, you're now selling because you're selling this ECU, so.